Hello, this is a review of Platinum 3 Reinhardt. I usually don't do these videos where you're recording, we usually just do a voice call, but the replays are actually about to get nuked in a day, so I thought I should just go ahead and do like a video review of this. It's the takeaways, they're gonna show, both of these are actually gonna show up the most in the first fight, so it's right away, it's a case of your positioning. You're usually too far out from the corner and taking damage when you don't need to be. You can let them come to you, let them take the damage, and sort of just be a payload tumor, I call it, where you're not letting the payload through. And they have a Pharah which you don't know yet, but even if that's the case, you can still keep the other Reinhardt out, keep the Hanzo and Zen shielded off, and just basically be a wall. And I think I said Reinhardt. They're on Zarya. You both are gonna swap quite a few times in this game, but uh, but that's the first one, and we'll get to the second one once you get pressured. The second issue pops up. This is fine. You can just poke, go for fire strikes, gives you ult charge, as long as you don't charge the Zarya necessarily. Oh, and you took a bit of damage there, but you're backing up. You can hold the corner. The positioning is just too aggro. Hanzo's got the storm arrows and Zarya. They're the ones that should have to cross the corner and get shot by Kiriko and everyone else. You're sort of giving them a fair fight when you're on defense and you don't have to. You can play here. Especially with this, well, Venture's currently running, but if the Pharah wasn't here, you could get a crossfire going. So it's just, don't underestimate how strong it can be to sort of wait for them. The second thing, we're gonna rewatch this, is I want you to just watch your barrier uh, usage. So you've got the buffed barrier, 1400 health. You're up. You needed that. You needed that to cross the open ground. So that shield's good. But I just want you to you put it down, you pop it up, even though your supports had you. It was just Zarya poke. You put it down. Through that, even though you're healed back up, you still put it up again. Every time that shield takes damage, the replenishment resets. So you're sort of using shield sparingly, but it's not recharging because every 2 seconds you put it up again. And so maybe you're not aware when you cross this corner you have like 400 shield. But that's what you do, and your shield is just Hanzo can make mincemeat of a low shield, so he can see the cracks. And the other thing, once your shield breaks, there's a period of time where you can't put it up again. So if a key damage comes up like Far is about to direct you, I don't think you couldn't have even put up the shield yet because it was broken in the broken state where you can't put it up. So those two things, positioning, making sure to most of the time stay around the corner and just block the payload. The second thing, shield management, don't let it recharge. Swap between you're using your health, you're swinging, then you put up the shield for an extended period of time to sort of bait them in, waste their ammo, and then go back to the health and holding the corner. And you're just trading those two resources and letting the other replenish while you use the second one. So just the way you're using them, like shield, up, down, it's gonna pop up later on Sigma too.
Hello.
Our enemies return with a vengeance.
Hello there. Barrier initialized.
So yeah, your Zen, if he had just backed up more, you could have saved him, but unlucky. You can pressure the Hanzo. Hanzo's a good target. You know what? Zen's a good target. And once that second person goes down, it's backup mode. Like, you've got to just back up. You keep the shield up, back up to here, and just sort of try and just poke them out, poke the Hanzo, poke everyone, just slow them down for 10 seconds while your team comes back. And that should be, I don't know if you have death sounds on, but once you lose 2, that's pretty much automatic. You're going to back up to a better spot.
Barrier is splintering.
And yeah, once you're back around the corner, you can drop the shield. Your shield's going to get broken again, and then you can't put it back up for a few seconds. And you also sort of dwelled here a little too long, but you can at least block the Hanzo with that. But yeah, they didn't actually punish you that hard. Zarya could have been a little meaner had she wanted to, but yeah, you can just hold this corner, wait for your team to come back, and
The barrier is weakened.
yeah, like instead of letting your shield break again, you could have just still backed up, played the corner, shot her. Instead of being here and trying to expose yourself to both the Hanzo and the Zarya, it's just you're not gonna have the shield when you need it. And that rocks just when she has bubbles, you really. Yeah, it's just a case of burning down. And in Zarya, charge Zarya on Sigma's hard because you've got to touch the payload. Like, even Reinhardt would have been good, maybe even better here. I know maybe you thought there was going to be a fight out here in the open. But you still could have extended your life by playing the corner, letting your shield recharge. It's just getting stuck on Sigma. On a retake, at least, is hard. And you go Zarya. I don't know if you play Zarya or you're like Zarya or if you're just doing it because they're rolling on Zarya. But they've really just been rolling because of your team's early deaths. One was on you, one was sort of half on your teammates, half on you because you didn't back up as much. But it's not necessarily just Zarya is wrecking you. I don't know if that's why you went Zarya. And that's good. It's fine to use one bubble to charge yourself, but the second bubble you want to sort of diamond hands it. You don't maybe just limit your poke to the Zen and the Pharah and just keep that second one because you don't want to be like you don't want to sort of make the same mistake with bubbles as you did with the barrier where you blow it all right away. Alright, you're fighting that Zen's out of position, but you really you want to make sure, like, having bubbles also lets you make aggressive plays. Like, oh, someone's out in the open. I know I'm going to take damage if I run after him, but I've got 1 or 2 bubbles. And yeah, I mean, a right click there, especially, it's burst damage. It sort of pops them in the air. Like, a right click actually would have been good there. I don't know if this isn't really a Zarya review because you're going to be off pretty fast. But this next part's applicable for any tank. Just going for that trade. You should know your team can't see you. They can all see you. That going after that Zen is death, and this trade is just not worth it because they've got their Zarya. They can run down your team. It would take some real heroics at this point to sort of turn it around once you die here. So, just this sort of trade, it's too aggressive, especially on defense. And sure, you had 100 charge, but you had 100 charge for like a second, and then you died. So, it's just a little patience on defense goes a long way. Your team's going to die here, but I mean, it's kind of like, what were they supposed to do? Like, come on, Cassidy, clutch up. It's just, it's hard if one tank has a team and one doesn't. Just big picture. And that was good. The Hanzo and Zen were low. That was good target priority as opposed to going to the Zarya. But just a word on this. Your early deaths have let them win fights without much trouble. So they've stored all their ultimates. There's really not much you can do once you get dumped with ultimates. But I want you to know they've stored up all their ultimates because of the earlier mistakes. They haven't really had a need to use them, so this is just sort of an extension of that mistake that they're going to smash you. Yeah, I mean, you could have guessed she had grab and backed up a little more, but it's really just how many ults they use that fight for. So at least you got the ultimates out here. And a point I want to make is you're on Zarya. Like, what would really help your team sort of get out of this spawn, the Zarya right clicks, the Hanzo or the Zen's poking, would be like a Sigma or a Rein, which is kind of funny. But you know now you're sort of all in now. You're about to get grabbed, but had you stayed on Rein or Sigma, it would have been fine. You can hold these double doors here. Use the barrier to get your team out. Like, come out, use the barrier for a few seconds, swing here, let it recharge. It's just Zarya's a little rough to like retake with. And yeah, one bubble. I mean, you could have used that the first bubble sooner instead of getting low there. But yeah, you just want to be careful. Like this is getting a little too aggressive now. You've got one bubble left. You're sort of walking into them. You really want to either have been by these boxes, like maneuvered around, or just go to the corner now. You don't want to. You want to get your grab and hit them right back. Yeah, and there are a few times he died. Baps like pressured to use immortality earlier. Hanzo, he probably got that by luck, but it's just sort of another case of if you wait, the times will come, and there are going to be some times where I tell you to like hit the gas pedal and go, because it's not always being passive, but it's just dying early, exposing yourself to too much damage early. It's sort of no matter how good your aim is. Alright, we're going. We're going to build this grab and hit him.
Step rider.
Coming out, just do a good check who you can bubble. The other team's already backed up, so sort of. But the damage you're taking, obviously you have to use both bubbles on yourself and your frontlining. But I don't know if you heard the footsteps, but yeah, like I did hear footsteps over here. It would be nice if you could push him out maybe, or hold here, hold a corner, but what you do is just sort of objectively wrong. Like, this is your supports are going to save you, but this is just you're exposing yourself to 4 people when you don't have to. You're on defense. You can be the guy here right clicking trying to build your grab. Like, it's just so aggressive. When there's no one's even low, it's not like you're even like getting a final blow and then like running back to the corner. It's just
Feeble attacks.
they let you go, but it's just that was so risky. And you can go here. The other thing about being on the corner, like your Ashe, if someone were to rush her down, you can bubble her. You just got a good view of everything as opposed to having all this frontline damage. Yeah, like that's just another like 300 you didn't have to take. And yeah, if you had bubbles, like your Ashe is being a bit silly, but this, had you been saving your bubbles, that would have gotten you a lot of charge and could have gone over bubbled her. I don't think you see the Zen. There we go. And I cheated. I did like a quick look through 2 days ago. It's okay if they're still clumped at the end of Transcendence, you can grab them. But it's just I think you said you played a lot of Overwatch 1. You're coming back, knew the timings. You just do this 2 seconds too soon. Had you just done the same play 2 seconds later, you could have like right clicked them all down. Because there's not like a lot of like AoE healing on Zen Mercy. So right clicks are the way to go. You get 3 people in a grab. But I mean, not through Transcendence, you're not. So yeah, and I mean, even they have a lot of damage. So you could have even like waited 2 seconds, grab, and then like right click, pop out, right click, pop out, or wait for your team. But you sort of had to make a play. It's the end, but They were just... And then you're sort of hoping your team will clutch up.
Justice reigns from above.
And yeah, just your team could have maybe played a little safer waiting for you to come back, but... The thing is, though, you're actually going to pick it up and start using cover a little better here.
A better world is
Or at least in
possible
later
today.
rounds when you go Ryan. This Winston's good too, but... I don't know if you play more Winston than Reinhardt, but the Winston is pretty good.
Well, there was one pilot who was...
Did Athena put you up to this?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stealth Assassin Tracer.
Escort the payload.
Maybe you're typing to your team or something. But yeah, jumping up here is good, jumping up here is good. You can just, when they're Orisa, yes, they're beefy, but they cannot take all this high ground and map control. So if someone's really separated, or you can get them, or you can just hold this map control, zap down on them. It's, people don't like to be zapped from above or flanks, so they'll get really antsy and basically just give up all the space and run away, is what they'll do 9 times out of 10.
You're safe with me.
Goodbye. So they're not infallible. I mean, they were snowballing you first point, but they're making mistakes too. They looked like a diamond team on first point when they were snowballing, but like you're gonna go for the Zen, which is good. But you can also just simple, like from what you could see, you can even go here and just go after the Orisa with your Tracer and put a bubble here, block the healing, because that Ana's will not be able to heal that Orisa. That Orisa's basically just dead meat no matter how many cooldowns they have. If you put a bubble between her and Ana. What you do here.
I didn't see you there.
And it's just, they're far away, you're low health, just get out, press the I need heal button, go back to your BAP, and you can sort of just go like here. Hold this corner and just zap the Orisa, but this is it's a more understandable death. You were getting out, you just got javelin, but that was a good play on Zen. It's just a bit of unlucky.
Greeting.
That's good, and you can actually dive Reaper now that your armor actually stops like multiple pellet or smaller shots. It blocks those a lot easier now with the armor changes. So that was actually a good dive on the Reaper. You can just work on burning down the Orisa until you get a good chance to go in with your bubble. You can just wear her down. Hope she uses cooldowns early. And your bubble's back. You can bully her. Yep, good stuff. And that terrible nano. So yeah, these guys are beatable once they're not snowballing and getting early kills on you. Is just the main thing.
All systems on optimal level.
I'm over the moon. Much appreciated.
That's fine. Happens to everyone. Yeah, and here just one thing on that. It's primaling to stay alive is perfectly fine. You don't want to like give up the map control and have them like all here while you try and like come back out. So it's good. It's just you got to keep in mind your team is not ready to help you. They're sort of payload sitters. So you can go in, bash them around, I don't think the Reaper used Wraith. If he did, he'd be a good target, but otherwise you can go for bash him around, be a distraction, but your team's not with you, so it's just going to end up being like 4 people shooting you. Just you want to get out. That was actually a pretty good juggle, looking down and getting him on the second swing. But yeah, your anti got some swings. Like, this is like you like here I'd like glance down at my health after I get a kill or I've been in a few seconds, and like it's good to just go out, let primal expire, get your bubble back, go back in. You don't want to like give them the trade right back, which is what you do. That's your team's just not there. And I don't think, if you look back more, you'll know where your team is, but your team was not here, which is why this didn't work.
It's time.
Oh, I was gonna say, good dive on the Ana. Just pressure him out, wait for your bubble back, and you saw your Echo under you, your Mercy. Like, this is a better attack. Like, your team's with you, they've used Lamp. Like, this is a good time to be going in. Like, versus last time, because your team's with you. And yeah, that's good. You can keep the Cass and Ana busy while your team basically wrecks the Orisa very slowly.
All systems on optimal level.
Payload moving out.
Good bubble dancing, like just living, blocking their sight lines, good stuff. And here I was like, where's your team? You've kept them busy for like 5 seconds after they kill the Orisa, and they're all just sitting payload, so this is kind of on your team, and you kind of have to adjust, like, how aggressive is my team. I love having Tracers, Genji, Sombras that go aggressive all the time, and I go aggressive, but it's like, if your team's gonna, like, do this, you gotta be a little more reserved. So this is good. Like, the way you keep them busy and then back out, that's perfectly fine. And basically what you needed to do, because your team's a little safe. And yeah, you see the queen and you're like, let me get off this. That's fine. I probably need to start doing that more, but Sigma can grind her down, actually, this far of the map, believe it or not.
Strikes him down.
But Rein can be good too. Just, she does a lot of damage, so it's kind of, you want to make sure you're keeping your armor up, you're not like taking too much damage too quickly and letting your armor down there get off. So you might take a swing, put up barrier. Yeah, like turning your back is not good. Like, if you were concerned, you can obviously just like back up and shield and let your team force Wraith, or back up behind the card and then swing. Like, you're basically isolating a 1v1 is the fancy way to put it, but it's just like turning around is going to let that queen shoot you in the back. And yeah, you were being healed up. That fire strike is kind of dubious because you were already low, but at least you got ults out. And if they're pincering you, like whenever you got like a person main and then a person pincering you, that's always a good time to say, like, I'm gonna go a different route and like push the flanker off. So if you come up here, push the Cassidy off, push the Reaper off, and then once they're all backed up, then you got them all in front of you and you can like shield and walk forward. It's just a tip I've learned the hard way over trying to go through chokes as Ryan and getting like bashed.
Enemy radar.
Sorry, I skipped a part I wanted to go over. But this Reaper, he's being a pain. And when he like turns around, this is like Reaper language for I'm gonna go in or ult. A backwards pim would be great, because then you can, if you land it, you'll hit them here. Their Ana can't see, their Ana can't support. And it's really, it'll stop Reaper from shooting, obviously. So the backwards pin was the sort of, if you're gonna peel, it's the peel play. It's a charge. Yeah, and I guess you fire strike, so you couldn't charge right away, but yeah, I mean, he got your mercy. That fight was pretty much lost anyway.
Is under my protection. Join me.
And yeah, you don't have charge back, but this BAP is crazy. I don't know if you heard him, but he's making some positioning mistakes of his own. And yeah, that sidestep's good because you don't want to countercharge a Rhine when his team has like way more damage. Because if you both charge, so there's a time to counterpin, time not to counterpin. That's gonna come up like later, but if they've got a Cass, a Junkrat, and an Ana who can nade you, it's like let me sidestep out of that. I don't want to fall down in front of all that damage. And yeah, go next. It's a tough choke. You can maybe they're set up again. You can go high ground and sort of kick the Junkrat out. Oh, yeah, I mean, even if you counterpin, you're in front of a window, so it's obviously if you both fall down, you're dead. But those Junkrat traps, I hate them. Oh, you see your team going high ground, you go too. Nice, nice. And he's got Shatter too, so you want to be like ready to... You kind of want to make sure he can't like walk past you and Shatter while your team's in the hallway, so you got to be kind of careful. But you're looking for your Shatter, you've both got Shatter, it's sort of a chess game, like can you walk past the other one or catch him fire striking and Shatter, but I think you win here. This is the fight you win. That's good, wearing him down on your side of the corner. Oh, nice block. And honestly, I don't know how you got the tire with a swing there, because the tire has like 100 health and the swing's like less, but Fire Strike would have probably been the safer bet there. But you get the tire. That's good. I know you want to live. You can just hold the shield and walk forward and like block this, because it's always good if you can stuff them in the doors so they can't, like the shield would block everything if it's here, your barrier. So I know you wanted to get healed, but it's probably given up a little too much map control. Like even here, there's only really 3 people, so you can be fighting this Rhine, pinning him. All they've got is the Ana and the Cass, and you've got your whole team. So if you wanted to go, this would be a decent time for those reasons. But he hit you with the pin. He's basically doing what I was recommending earlier. He's being the corner hugger, the payload leech, like or tumor stop. But yeah, he's waiting for you. So I mean, it's still more people. Like had you been a little faster, either baited this or countercharged, your team's there. I mean, hopefully they'll step off the payload eventually. But yeah, they gotta save, and yeah, the Ana, like whenever they have an Ana and you don't, it can be really tough as far as them be nanoing and just rolling you down. But
The payload.
this is good. Let your shield fully recharge here so you can... Oh, there it is again, sort of. It recharged 100 and then you lifted it and then it blocked a Junkrat thing and then it's not recharging. But I think that's fine. They're going to let you walk up. Yeah, and you've got 400 shield here, so it's probably like you want to just play safe, let the shield recharge, get some fire strikes. Oh, another pin, that's rough. But yeah, it's so annoying when runs sort of play like that. Like even especially with the charge, but you might want to just be a little more careful. And the counter pin or the counter charge is sort of in their favor again because they've got a window and a cast still. But I think your Sojourn's gonna do something. You're gonna get revived. All right, good stuff. I mean, your team it was kind of like your team stepped up there, but I mean, it's gonna be rough with those ultimates. But you gotta really like when they're holding the corner, you gotta choose the right time to sort of cross. You could have waited for your BAP to like use his window and then I'm gonna go. Like when I got the extra healing, it's like your team had more ultimates, so it's kind of like I'm just gonna stay alive, let them use their ultimates, and then crush them. Which I haven't talked about ultimates that much, but besides the Shatter Mirror, but your team had a lot more there, so
Maybe you should have stepped back.
luckily it worked out. You've got a chance, even though they've got more time. A is hard to take. I have won games with a lot less time bank. Are you gonna go Winston again? Stay Rhine. Alright, so overtime Rhine, the fire strikes, landing fire strikes is like doubly important. You want to get your shatter first and sort of kick them out.
Well, for starters, they aren't corgis.
Get me moving.
Their venture falls off the map. And once you see that, that's a good time to go. This runs forward like you were the first map. They lost a player, like just full W, pin, run, swing. Like this is gas pedal moment. This is like let's go. And I mean, I think you do it, but it's a little slow. Like they could have retreated back to the end of the point A and held that corner. So I mean, you want to make sure you get these staggers. Nice, got him.
Glorious. If I do say so myself.
30 seconds.
This is a final stand. Onward.
And you're sort of using these fire strikes in pairs. Like you kind of like want to get a better feel of when they're respawning, or at least wait till you see someone, because you want to get shatter first in overtime. That is huge.
Need to attack now.
And I don't blame you for not going for it. They've got a Pharah, and you want to make sure the payload's still being touched, so that's fine. But the only thing is, had you been a little more forward, like you knew they were going to have to touch, someone was going to have to be here in 3 seconds, and you kind of like were almost like, oh, the BAP's here. Like it's just, had you been ready to swing, this actually could have been a lot easier. And that's good. All you can really do is swing ride. And once you're low holding the shield, that's good. Because before you were kind of die a little early. But at least being here, they have to like overextend into you to like get the final blow. And that actually, it gives you a chance. Like, they're like, oh, we gotta get this run, and then the Pharah gets them. So, I mean, that was good as far as using your health, then using your shield and backing up. And if you get healed up, I mean, I think your supports are... Your BAP just died, but had he been there, then you can like get healed up, then use your health, then use your shield, and make sure you're not like taking 100 shield damage every few seconds, so it never actually gets to recharge. And that's fine. A's hard to take. Getting there with a minute is actually good. All right. So you just want to play safe, play the corner, get ready to back up if something bad happens or you lose teammates. Make sure you get those fire strikes. Get shatter first.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand behind me, friends.
Attackers incoming. The payload.
And yeah, as soon as you saw that Cassidy, it probably would have been a good time to shield. But you did the right thing. You backed up. You got your barrier. Now play the corner and let your shield recharge. Like, this is good. Use the shield to get back to cover, then drop it. Like, this is night and day between like first point and now. Like, it's almost like you've already watched the VOD and learned from it. But I mean, or I guess you haven't played the game in a while. It's coming back to you in overtime. But yeah, your positioning is a lot better now. They're having a hard time getting through. This Ryan is, you can peek out, like do a fire strike, and then just peek back in. And yeah, he is. It's like the roles are reversed now. Now he's the one getting killed. And that's good. All these like fire strikes and corner swings, you're getting your shatter much faster. Supportal combat in the backline, that's fine. You're just the payload tumor. You're just not worried about that, but team stop it off.
I'm on top of the world.
And yeah, he recognized two teammates died and like pinned backwards. That was kind of like the play I wanted you to do earlier on point A, defense, where you like lost two back up. So he's that was good by him. Oh, but that was not like, that is a good counter charge. Like, you've got more of your teammates around, go for the counter charge all day. You both fall down. He's tough. I think he's feeling the pressure.
Stand behind me, friends.
And yeah, this what is it, Shatter? It's like you don't really have that many good targets. It's just the Ryan or the cast. So when you get a good chance, you can go for either of them.
Bring us the burn.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. That never works. I don't know if you saw him charge and then used it, but it takes, the Shatter takes longer than like I always think it does. That play like never works. Even though it looks like you've got him with his shield down, it's like it doesn't work that way. But that's still probably fine. You can just block his shadow. The thing is, they've got nano, like he's taken a thing, so it's kind of like you have to almost be like more standoffish and ready to run away. Because if you're like swinging at each other and they nano, it's like you can go for a charge if you're safe behind your corner, but it's like really hard to actually win that. Yeah, so yeah, maybe you took a little too much damage, but that's good being like here as opposed to like out where the other Rhine is, where you were around one. With the full shield. Yep. And yeah, I mean, it's like you're gonna die. You're almost like you can pin him here just so he can't swing at you. But it's just rough. You maybe took a little too much poke damage, but it's just sort of an ultimate thing where he can bowl you over with that nano. That was sort of the right idea if you can just pin him back and hide, but it's just it's rough like if they have a nano and you don't.
It's go time.
You can still recontest this corner though. That's why taking the fight early is good. You still got a recontest. Oh, that's huge.
It's high time. Someone stop that.
And yeah, he's overextended again. Full W key, just run at him now. That's good. You just don't want to get traded back. You don't want to do what he did and like get antsy in charge when you don't have to.
Join.
And if you're ult tracking, you know Mercy hasn't used her ult yet, and you've got. Oh, I was gonna say you've got window. So if you just play safe, Bap can like window, but it's like there hasn't been much talk of Peel besides that one Reaper. It's just like you can't do anything against Afara, so there's no use sort of dwelling on that.
I will keep you safe. Thank you, my
Could have
friend.
maybe gone for that shoulder first, but yeah, you've only seen a few of them, so it's a good time to go aggressive. They've just got your window. Your window can fight their Valk. And that is good. He charged you into a good spot that time where like you and Bap were fighting him 2v1 and he was like overextended. That's just like the positioning alone is sort of winning these fights is the point I want to get across. There's nothing like miraculous that needs to be done. At least not until maybe you get to GM, but
Let them up.
yeah. That Shatter's fine. Like, you want to make sure you win. Just because you killed the Rhine, they can still pop off, so I'm not. This Shatter's probably fine. I would have just shielded right away instead of that Fire Strike, though. Had you died, then their team could have been said, like, go, 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 their Rhine's down, and, like, pressured your team, but. But you've passed him in Shatter, but he's about to get his. You should have in the back of your mind. Be ready to block it. Other than that, keep up the good positioning. Yeah, he passed the corner way too much. Oh, good counter pin. He had low health. I don't know why he would go for the charge with low health. That's. But yeah, you were just immovable. All that time, but you bought your Pharah. They were able to get the flank. And good job. You overcame the 3-minute time bank, but just the main takeaways are the positioning, the shield management. I mean, if you can just watch the beginning and like skip to the end, like you're managing your shield better, you're hugging the corner better, you're not dying early. When the run gets low, you're going aggressive, but you're not going aggressive by default and like crossing the corner. It's just there were a lot of good things that you sort of picked up mid-round. And I just hope it helps to see it because sometimes you're like on the ball and you're doing things and you don't exactly know why it worked better the second half of the game. But that's why I think it is. And good luck to your next games. Thanks.